evening and welcome to Dateline. Tonight on Dateline, we will, as usual, revisit the activities of the Osun State Governor in the just concluded week, while the aberration by the agitators of Yoruba Nation in Ibadan and the implication of their action will not go without being mentioned today on the show. I am Oluchi Amuda, welcoming you once again to Dateline. First, the hard news segment. The Nigerian Labour Congress has listed 7 demands from the federal government ahead of the May 1, 2024 Workers' Day celebration. Speaking to newsmen in Abuja, the NLC's National Treasurer, Akeem Ambali, listed 7 demands the Congress had made from the federal and the state government. Aside the demand for a new minimum wage, the NLC is also asking for the creation of state and local government police to tackle insecurity in the country. The Congress also stressed that states and local governments, as well as the organized private sector, must pay the new minimum wage when it is eventually approved. The 2024 Workers' Day is particularly being looked forward to, as it is expected that President Bola Tinubu may unveil the newly proposed minimum wage for workers in the country on that day. It will be recalled that earlier this month, the organized labor had pegged the new minimum wage at 615,000 naira per month, tentatively. Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has instituted a further crackdown on currency speculators and cryptocurrency platforms manipulating the naira. A source within the commission said the EFCC was not only going after Binance but every cryptocurrency platform and others involved in the manipulation of the Nigerian foreign exchange market. Reacting to the development when contacted, the spokesperson for the EFCC, Dele Oyewalu, said the commission was doing everything lawful to ensure sanity within the country's forex market. Meanwhile, some foreign exchange market analysts have stated that the dollar rose slightly against the naira between Wednesday and Friday due to interbank moves of the commercial banks. Speaking with newsmen, the ad hoc committee chairman of the Association of BDC Operators of Nigeria, Al-Mustafa Mohammed, said while it was true that the dollar gained during the week, the BDCs were not behind the currency gaining as it resulted from certain moves of commercial banks. In the meantime, the federal government is set to receive around $2.2 billion single-digit interest loan from the World Bank and another budget support facility from the African Development Bank. The Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, disclosed it during a press briefing at the end of Nigeria's activities at the World Bank and International Monetary Fund Spring meeting in Washington, D.C. Speaking on the sources of international funding to the Nigerian economy, Edun listed diaspora remittances, foreign portfolio investments, and facilities from the World Bank and other international development partners. He stated that Nigeria is qualified for the processing to the board of directors of the World Bank of a total package of the amount of money. He added that there is a similar budgetary support, low interest funding from the African Development Bank, and clearly there are ongoing discussions with foreign direct investors across many sectors. Edu also tapped issuing dollar-denominated securities specifically targeted at Nigerians in the diaspora and those with foreign-dominated savings in Nigeria as another measure to attract forex inflow into the country. Meanwhile, the federal government has advocated for the establishment of the African Council for Artificial Intelligence, just as it confirmed the receipt of $3.5 United States as seed funding for the AI strategic from interested partners. The Minister of Communications, Innovations and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, said the African Council for artificial intelligence has become imperative to ensure that the development of artificial intelligence in Africa is shaped by uniform regulations and market prospects. He made the remarks during the closing ceremony of a 4-day international workshop on national artificial intelligence and strategy for Nigeria, with over 120 experts, researchers, academia, and professionals from across the world. Speaking on the need on the seed funding for national artificial intelligence strategy, Dr. Tijani disclosed that $3.5 million has been received in support of Nigeria efforts in AI systems and its development in the country. He said the donation came from foreign and local partners such as United Nations Development Program, UNESCO, Meta, Google, Microsoft, among others. President Bola Tinubu will open the African Counter-Terrorism Summit tomorrow in Abuja. This is contained in a statement issued by Special Advisor to the President of Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalali. The high-level summit, organized by Nigeria in collaboration with the United Nations Office of Counter-Terrorism, with the theme Strengthening Regional Cooperation and Institution Building to Address the Evolving Threat of Terrorism. The objective, according to him, is to enhance multilateral counter-terrorism cooperation and reshape the international community's collective response to terrorism in Africa, emphasizing African-led and African-owned solutions. According to the release, the summit will bring together heads of states and governments, high-level government officials, representatives of international organizations, and members of civil society to review the threat of terrorism in the continent and agree on strategic priorities and measures to address it. In the meantime, Osun State House of Assembly has taken a step by mobilizing a set of young entrepreneurial-oriented youth to undergo a 3-month intensive trainings on soilless farming and other vocational skills in Ogun State. A legislator representing Ife South State constituency, Honorable Lawrence Adeoti, led the youth to the venue of the exercise. Parliamentary reporter Oluwatosi Oladokun completes the story.
Venue of the Soilless Farm Lab, where youths acquires modern agricultural farming, is about 30 minutes drive from Abeokuta, capital of Ogun State. Leading over 30 interested youths from Ife Tedo in Ife, South State constituency of Osun State to Awowo via Abeokuta was the member representing Ife South State constituency, Honorable Lawrence Adeoti. The initiative, according to the Chairman House Committee on Lands, Urban and Physical Planning, is to engage the team youth in Ife South State constituency productively regardless of political affiliation. Honorable Adeoti, while speaking with the journalists, said the primary objective of the Agricultural Entrepreneurship Empowerment Program is to ensure that the alarming rate of the youth unemployment will in no distant time be addressed. He explained that the exercise will last for 3 months with an intensive trainings in the area of farming, wedding, plumbing, among others.
Bringing our youth far from Osun, from Ife South, this will lessen the burden of unemployment. And that's why I decided, okay, let me bring my youth so that people will come and learn new things.
The Ife South State constituency born lawmaker said after the completion of the 3 months training, every youth who participated in the program will go home with $150. Thereafter, another batch will come to Ogun State to undergo similar training.
So it's not only farming aspect. They will learn how to make different things and the most insightful one is the sport activities, all these normal things goes on here too. They will fully enjoy themselves. And I think every month to begin with $50 every month.
OSBC News had a chat with some of the beneficiaries, including Messrs. Ifeoluwa Akande and Stella Olariwaju. To them, the exercise was a dream come true.
Gain some things about how we can train
to modernize farming
and all those stuff there and more than that, sir.
I really appreciate God in his life. He's a man, he's a good man. I pray God should bless him more and more.
Speaking in the same vein were Ridwan Kolawole and Similayi Adeoti. According to them, the immediate and potential benefits embedded in the soilless family are limitless.
And I'm sure if you have like we at 30 plus the number from Osho State, and with this, that's like a huge number of development too in terms of food production and reduction of food insecurity.
Uluwatosin Oladokun, OSBC News.
Candidates who participated in the just concluded Osho State Teachers Recruitment Exercise have been informed to disregard the cut-off mark table in circulation, which did not emanate from the Ministry of Education. A statement by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mr. Jimo, informed the general public that the cut-off mark is the handiwork of mischief makers and scammers who are hell-bent on swindling or suspecting persons. It adds that the official cut-off mark will soon be released by the ministry. Meanwhile, the state government has put all necessary arrangements in place to warmly receive the wife of President of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who will visit the state on Tuesday on an official duty. A statement by the State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Olomokolapo Alim, indicated that the First Lady will perform the turning of third of the Alternative High School for Girls at Okedio Office, Ilesha Road in Oshogbo. It adds that the exercise to be performed by Senator Oluremi Tinubu will be at the instance of her non-governmental organization Renewed Hope Initiative, Girls Towards Achieving a Better Life for All Families in Nigeria. The statement implores the people of the state to come out en masse to receive the First Lady of Nigeria and her entourage. The crisis rocking the All Progressive Congress APC in Kano State has taken a new twist as world executives emerged from Ganduje's word, issued fresh suspension on acting national chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. The new group from Ganduje's word, the Wake Tofa local government area of the state, claimed to be the legislative word ESCOs legally and validly elected. Addressing journalists in Kano, Secretary of Ganduje World, Jafar Adamu Ganduje, who spoke on behalf of the 11 other executive members, explained the suspension of former governor of Kano State is necessitated on allegation of anti-party activities exhibited by Ganduje, which led to the division and failure of the party during the last election. Adamu, who is Ganduje's nephew, also accused the APC chairman of igniting conflict of interest that led to two factional schools in the world. You're welcome to our sports segment. Report reaching us says the Nigeria Football Federation has decided to go with Amunike as the substantive head coach of the national team. Abdurrahman Adebayo has the details of this and other stories from the world of sports.
It is believed we remain as one of the assistants of the new Super Eagles head coach, a role he held with distinction under Pesero. The Super Eagles head coach role will be the biggest challenging Amunike had to handle. The former Zamalek and Sporting Lisbon winger excelled as coach of the Golden Eaglets, leading the Nigeria Under-17 national team to win the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. In another development, three Nigerian boxing sensation, Adam Olaore, Joshua Omole and Cynthia Ogunsemilore, are gearing up to script history for Nigeria at the Paris 2024 Olympics by aiming for the nation's first ever gold medals in boxing. Their journey to the pinnacle of Olympic glory began with a remarkable showing at the African Olympic Boxing Qualifier in Dakar, Senegal last year, where they clinched gold medals in their respective weight categories, securing their ticket to the Paris Games. The three have also gone on to win gold medals in their weight classes at the 13th African Games in Accra, Ghana, held in March this year. The trail quest for Olympic gold carries the way of history, as Nigeria has never claimed a gold medal in boxing despite participating in 13 Olympic Games since Tokyo 1964. In an interview with journalists, Olore revealed his rigorous preparation regimen, leaving no stone unturned in quest for Olympic glory, saying training has become even more intense and focused for him. Meanwhile, Nigeria's seat of power, Abuja, has been named as the host city of Group 3 of this year's Davis Cup Championship by the International Tennis Federation. Nigeria returned to Group 3 alongside Ghana from the Group 4 Championship held in Kigali, Rwanda last year, and now the team will be campaigning in Group 3 with the sole aim of gaining promotion to Group 2 in 2025. Nigeria will battle for the promotion slot alongside Benin Republic, Namibia, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Zimbabwe from July 15 to 20, 2024. The matches will be played in a round-robin format, and the top 3 teams will be promoted to Group 2 in 2025, while the bottom 2 teams will be relegated to Group 4 in 2025. Abdurrahman Adebayo, reporting for OSBC.
On the foreign scene, hundreds of Nigerians today protested against the U.S. troop presence in military road Niger, where a delegation from Washington is expected within days to arrange an orderly withdrawal. Abdul Adebisi has the details of these and more on the foreign scene.
The United States has agreed to withdraw its more than 1,000 soldiers from the African nation where Washington built a $100 million base to fly a fleet of drones. The demonstration in the northern desert town of Agadez, home to a U.S. air base, was called by a group of 24 civil society associations that have backed the regime since last year's coup. Eso Emo, who front the M62 movement in the town, made it clear that American soldiers should pack their bags and go home. He had also organized demonstrations demanding the departure of French forces, which pulled out last year. Niger has long been limping in the U.S. and French strategy to combat military insurgents in West Africa. It will be recalled that the Nigerian military announced it was breaking up a defense agreement with the United States, claiming it had been imposed and the U.S. troops' presence was illegal. Reacting to the message, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Cos Campbell agreed to remove the troops in a meeting in Washington with NAMI Prime Minister Ali Mohammed. Sami Shokri's visit to Istanbul was part of the preparation for Egypt's president's upcoming visit to Turkey. The war in Gaza and the escalation between Israel and Iran were two issues also high on the agenda. Shokri said it had warned since the beginning that war in Gaza will lead to the expansion of conflict and tension in the region, and had seen that in the targeting of maritime navigation in the Red Sea and its effect of the international economy, and now with this tension and military escalation between Iran and Israel. He, however, called upon both sides to show restraint and not to slip towards a wider frame of military confrontation, whether direct or indirect. The comment came on the same day Iraq said it was investigating a deadly blast on one of its military bases hosting a Iran-allied group. Abdul Jalil, DBC OSBC News.
We now go on a short break. Dateline continues in a moment. You are welcome to Dateline proper. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State continued with his avowed commitment to raising the bar of governance in the state by embarking on various activities in the just concluded week. Details of these are presented from our studios.
Adeleke, while hosting the proprietor, management and students of a private university, Mercy Medical University Ikirele, in his office, called on educational entrepreneurs not to rest on their oars to support the government by providing functional educational system that will serve as catalyst for national development.
I welcome you to my office. I am elated to receive you, eggheads. I value education because it is the foundation of national development. A functional educational system is compulsory for any nation to achieve its potentials. When I met education entrepreneurs, I'm always full of praise for them. Private school entrepreneurs deserve our total support. The several private schools fill a major gap. The crisis within the public sector educational system almost overwhelmed public sector leaders. The private entrepreneur came to the rescue of the nation. So we value your contribution to the national development. You are very important to the state and the national at large. I must assure you that our government is ready to partner with you. We will support your development as you make access to education easy for the public. I will urge you to connect with our Ministry of Education for details of collaboration. If you need any further support, don't hesitate to reach to me.
Speaking earlier, the proprietor of the university, Dr. Abdul Fattah Adekunle, commended the governor for creating a very conducive environment for both public and private universities to operate in the state, while emphasizing that the university has an interactive relationship with the host community. Dr. Adekunle appealed to the state government to help them reconstruct the road connecting Ikirele to Iwo, Igege and other towns in Olaoluwa local government area of the state.
The road that connects Iwo in Iwo local government, the stadium road, we call it stadium road, that is to Ikirele. There that road is for Igege. Igege is another community, very big community. Obaga is not a very big community. Iwara is not a very big community, and Ikirele is also a very big community. This community, they are one, they use agriculture and have life population. His Excellency, this road was about 10 kilometers.
In another development, the governor hosted leadership of Fulani Boro groups in the state. The group was led by the Seriki Fulani of Osun State, Alhaji Ibrahim Babatunde, who was represented by the Seriki Fulani of Ikire Land, Alhaji Usman Woleniseoluwa. Senator Adeleke said the visit by the Fulanis was very significant, saying that Nigeria remains a united nation despite the tribal differences. He said all the regions in Nigeria are closely linked together through businesses, intermarriages, religion and other factors. While noting that no federation all over the world is perfect, Governor Adeleke called on Nigerians to honestly address whatever grievances and complaints they have against one another through dialogue.
I'm happy to meet you all leaders of Fulani Group in Osun State. Nigeria is a nation united in diversity. We are one despite our tribal differences. Whatever differences we have, we must remember what unites us and what divides us. The North and South have long history from pre-independent era to date. We have come a long way between East and West. We are very experienced. Overall, we have one thing in common, unity in diversity.
He said the state government is going to set up a committee that will see to Fulani host community relationship with a view to maintaining cordiality among residents of the state. Earlier, the Fulani group have commended the governor for appointing a special advisor on nomadic affairs and called on the state government to kindly revitalize nomadic education. Among other things, the Fulani group called for considerations in political and career appointments while pledging that their youth will constitute a vigilance group to support the existing security architecture in the state. Secretary to Osun State Government, Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye, while addressing newsmen in the governor's office, said all properties of Osun State Government illegally carted away by the officials of the immediate past APC administration will be retrieved by the state government. The SSG said apart from some of the cabinet members of the past administration, several political appointees of the government equally went away with assets including government vehicles without such being captured in the express provisions of due process, saying such vehicles must be returned to the state with immediate effect. Alhaji Igbalaye emphasized that the state government is strictly following due process in the retrieval of those items illegally converted by those politicians. He explained that some of the APC government appointees hid under the approval granted by former Governor Adegboyega Oyetola to some appointees for the release and ownership of official vehicles allocated to them to perpetrate the evil acts. He therefore reiterated that the state government is not out to witch-hunt anybody but on an exercise to retrieve government assets with a view to sending strong warnings to other politicians in future. While fielding questions from journalists, the SSG noted that the exercise to retrieve the stolen vehicles and other assets will be transparent as the committee in charge will give fair hearing and right of reply to persons affected.
Any property illegally carted away has to be covered. We are not after the amount or the cost. That's not the one, but just for us to follow the process. So all those things we have to serve as the veterans to other administrations that is coming on board in the future.
It has been Abdurrahim Adikriku reporting.
Many thanks to you, Abdurrahim Adekilekun. Moving ahead, secession agitations are not new in Nigeria, as different groups in some regions of the country have constantly made known their intentions to break away from the entity called Nigeria, but have never succeeded. In the southwest, a group known as Yoruba Nation Agitators tried to forcefully take over political power from the Oyo State government. What could be the likely implications of this unlawful act? Find out in this Dateline report. Most especially those from the southwest region of the country received the news of the recent attacks on the Oyo State Secretariat, as well as a move to forcefully take over the State House of Assembly by the secessionist agitators known as the Yoruba Nation with a root check. Reports say the agitators attacked the Oyo State Secretariat and hoisted their flags at the House of Assembly, proclaiming the creation of the Democratic Republic of the Yoruba. Although the Yoruba Nation agitators would not be the first group to clamor for secession in Nigeria, as the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has been on it for decades and has never succeeded, while the leader of the group, Nnamdi Kanu, is still facing trial for treasonable felony, among other charges. The plan of the Yoruba Nation agitators to take over a democratically elected government in the region was foiled by security agencies who arrested some of the suspects and arraigned them before the court. This incident has continued to attract condemnation among well-meaning Nigerians who describe the move as totally uncalled for. Comrade Waid Lawal is the leader of Osun Civil Society's coalition group. He says the action of the suspected Yoruba Nation agitators are illegal and out of place. He maintained that security agents must take drastic action and ensure they face the music to serve as deterrence to others.
Their actions are not terrence, shows they are stuck in it. How can you say you are agitating for something and you want to take over a democratically elected government in a country, in a sovereign nation? It's absurdity. It's madness of the highest order. I don't pity them. Law should take its full course on them. A Yoruba man is the president of Nigeria as we are speaking. What are they agitating for? They want to Yoruba nations. Is how they did it. How can you say you busted Oyo State government secretariat? Can you do the same thing in Osun, in Ondo, in Ekiti, in Lagos, in Ogun? Are they not part of Yoruba nations? Those states are not part of Yorubas. So you can't just think you can impose your own idea on every Yorubas. It's uncalled for. So it's condemnable.
The actions of the suspected Yoruba Nation agitators have also sent signals to other states in the southwest region as they have doubled their efforts and beefed up security in their respective states. Osun State government said the security has been beefed up in all the nooks and crannies of the state. Special advisor to the governor on security, Mr. Samuel Ojo, advised the people not to be associated with any illegal group that could put them in collision with the law. He admonished members of the public to be security conscious, support the government and security agents by disclosing useful information that would help the government to protect lives and property.
The Osun State will not allow that ugly incident to happen. And when something happens in one state, it sends signals to other neighboring states. And immediately we got that information. We have drafted operatives, all the security agencies are in turn, and all the vulnerable points have been covered. The only thing that I will advise people is people in the state that we should wake up, we should inform the operatives, especially security agencies, when something is happening, when they see unusual movements, when they see or suspect someone that is moving, the way he's behaving, or they are seeing a group of people or people gathering like 3, 4, 5, 10, they should inform the police officers or whoever is beside them so that there won't be any ugly issue or any ugly incident.
Meanwhile, the police have assured the public that all the suspects will be brought to book.
While declaring this act as criminal, unpatriotic, and a clear case of treasonable felony and terrorism, to be met with adequate sanctions through purposeful prosecutions, the command reassures the good people of Oyo State that it remains solidly unwavering to the protection of their lives and property as constitutionally required by the laws of the land.
Oluchi Amuda for Dateline. That ends Dateline on Osbc Tv. Thank you for watching. It was produced by Babatunde Fanwoko. The production assistants are Abdul Jalil Adebisi and Abdurrahman Adebayo. My name is Oluchi Amuda, wishing you a wonderful night rest.